asking, what's the greatest lie that has been told about Africa? And now, yeah, go on.
I think the biggest lie is something that all of us in Africa.
You know, as an African growing up, keep having this belief that Africa is very poor, because that is what we have been taught in school during history classes. But nobody taught us that we have been lied to all these centuries. One of the biggest lies in history about Africa is that Africa is very poor. If you want to find out the truth, just watch this video.
And before we wind up, there's a question I love asking. What's the greatest lie that has been told about Africa? And now, yeah, go on.
I think the biggest lie is something that all of us in Africa understand, which is that Africa is poor, right? Africa is not poor. If Africa was poor, we would never have been colonized. Nobody would ever, set foot here to extract anything. Mm-hmm. Africa is extremely rich, has always been extremely rich, and extremely rich today in potential, not just in resources. And that's precisely why we've been colonized. That's precisely why colonial forces have never left economically. And that's precisely why the geopolitical hierarchy perceives a huge threat from unleashing that potential. Mm-hmm. So we're intentionally being kept impoverished and divided and weakened precisely because we're rich and because the richness of the African continent is spoken for by colonial forces who want to continue to extract. That's the biggest lie. Mm-hmm. But for those of us in Africa, we know this. The question is, how do we undo these traps and undo the restrictions and fully unleash our potential?
Beautiful. What legacy are you looking into leaving behind?
Oh, well, if we can get even close to the idea of creating at least a regional bloc of countries on the African continent, mm-hmm. continent, to start this structural transformation, collectively work towards food sovereignty, renewable energy sovereignty, real industrial policies to unleash our potential. If we just show the way in some small region of the continent, say a block of countries, then we've just demonstrated to the rest of the world what our potential is. Mm. And that block will immediately be joined by everybody else on the African continent. Then we can fully fund the African Union on our terms and unleash and deploy our full potential in Africa and the rest of the global south. If I can contribute at least in the design phase of this, then that's a major contribution.
There we go. Now you get the hard facts, right? Okay. Thanks for watching.